listening to the Balancing Act podcast. Here's your hosts, Jamie Wonko and Joe Vitale.
Hey, guess what? At long last, we are officially recording.
Out of here.
Yeah.
Is this season trace?
As a matter of fact, it's season 3. Yes, we are. Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Balancing Act podcast. I am the driver of this struggle bus on this very early morning. Jamie Wonko. I'm here with my good friend, Joseph Vitale. Hello, Joe. How you doing?
Yes, I am on the broke down struggle bus because somebody was like, I'm going to do yard work for way too long. And then I was, no. I'm going to have to put that on my Murtaugh list. Like, I'm too old for this SHIT. I'm too old for this stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's definitely did the job, but a little pain for it this morning for sure. But, this is what...
So, recently I've been wearing a boot.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's been a lot going on this summer. I mean, we got to update people on what's going on.
Yeah, we have a lot of things, but the most recent is this boot, right? But what makes me think of when you said, I'm too old for this is like the kids are asking me here, there, and everywhere, like, oh, no, what happened? And what happened? And my response is like, I need more calcium. This is an old lady injury.
Oh, great. Got to get her Boniva. For sure.
And it's like, but how did it happen? What a great question.
Yes.
Nobody knows.
We need a better story. So somebody has a little heel fracture, right? Is it a heel fracture?
I was in a kung fu fight.
You were in a kung fu fight.
Yes, it's a stress fracture of the heel, which it's like, all right, no biggie. How long are you going to wear the boot for? Anywhere between 2 weeks and 3 or 4 years. No one knows.
I know, it's good. I would like, if you wouldn't mind, if you just let me borrow the boot for like a day. I'm going to bedazzle it for you and put like a little, decorate it, because it's what's fun. See, I've also been in a boot and it's no fun. And the reason why it's no fun, it's like, nobody can sign it. Nobody can like, oh, sign my boot. You remember when I never broke a bone, knock on wood.
Ooh.
I have been in a cast before because I have had some surgery on my Achilles that, I had to be in a cast for a little while.
Yeah.
And then was in a walking boot. But nobody can sign the walking boot. It's not fun. So like, I feel like I should borrow it for you, buddy, and then just bedazzle it. Put some.
The real question is, how in 2025 has no one designed a boot that doesn't weigh 86 pounds, causing other issues in parts of the leg that didn't come up before?
I know. It's kind of it's first world problems, right? But it's definitely one of those things where like it messes up you're not even. People don't understand like you have one foot that's like kind of higher than the other and it messes with your hip, which then causes problems with your back. So like you got old lady syndrome.
My hips don't lie. The back of my knee hurts. I'm like, I didn't have any of these problems pre-boot, but I know the last time I wore a boot, Scoots Magoots, my scooter and my boot combo was 4 months.
Yeah.
I clearly am not a great healer, right? I saw someone recently that had the same exact problem that I had with my the last broken other foot, and hers healed in 4 weeks, and mine took 4 months.
Oh, goodness.
So I don't know, but anyway, we are so excited for season 3. We are just like pumped, charged, ready.
Yeah, we are. All summer. Hopefully we have some new listeners all summer. We've been posting on social media, and we want to thank a bunch of our fans who we reached out to and listeners who made some videos for us on Fan Friday. So thank you to all of those people who recorded for us. So things that we can share.
And Fan Friday is going to keep on keeping.
Yes, it is. We'd love to hear from you. If you'd love to give us a video for Fan Friday, you can, definitely reach out to us on our pod page or at the Balancing Act at gmail.com. You guys can email us.
And easily enough, the pod page is Pod the Balancing Act.
Yes. Absolutely. So we're very excited. I know we're always teasing stuff. We had some really huge things for us coming up this season. Some things that are currently in the works that are being finalized, as well as some great guests to get us started off the new season. We hope that you're going to continue to take the ride with us and really enjoy some of the people that we're about to have on, because when I tell you that we're excited, like we're we're elated with some of the people that we're having on um, in the first couple weeks of the season and for later in the season. It's a good thing that we are very busy with setting up appointments and new guests that are going to come on and stuff like that. So we're really excited to bring this content to you and continue the conversation about how we balance all this craziness about life and parenting and teaching and all that stuff. So let's dive into it. Update me, friend. How's your summer been? What have you been up to? What are some of the things that you accomplished this summer? What are some fun things that you did?
Summer review time.
Yep, review time.
Summer review time. Okay, so should we kick it like all the way back to the beginning? The
Yeah,
beginning.
whatever, however you decide to,
Oh, the
jump into it.
glorious, glorious time when you think I've got nothing but time in front of me. And
Yeah.
right, I love that magical moment, that first day of summer when school is over and you are just as free as a bird.
Yes.
And then July 4th comes and it's over. No.
Pretty much.
No, I've tried to take over the July 4th is just like the opening of the beginning of the summer and it's not the end of the summer, but as we know from a lot of our listeners, everybody's summer vacation throughout the country can be very different, can look very different. And a lot of the Southeast, especially where some of my family now lives, they're finished with school by Memorial Day weekend. And then their summer is like June, July, and then they go back in August. So, it's kind of interesting. I've always had this idea that, you know, um, summer is the best time of the year, and so I'm trying to embrace I really do love fall. So I'm
Yeah.
trying to embrace the idea that I love fall. But if I rewind, this summer we had our son was his birthday was the very last day of school. So he got his driver's license, and that was like a really cool kickoff to the summer. And it was also so much fun just to not have to drive him as many places. That was a real have you been really soaking all of that in, Joe, as
Yes,
your
there.
kids both started driving in May?
Yeah, so as the school year ended for them, they were still involved in some athletics, which are just about finishing up, and the practices and all that stuff. So it was nice for them to be able to drive on their own, as well as their little part-time jobs and summer jobs, like not having to drop them off and pick them up was very freeing. Um, and it was something I think they really got that first little taste of freedom to be able to drive, go pick up their friend or two, more like friend because of the New Jersey laws with extra people in your car if you're under 18. Let them
I don't think we've been following that.
Yeah.
If you're related to the person, they don't count, right?
That is untrue. I actually was
Whoop.
looking at that, got into a little, dispute with my wife because I was like, "Well, that's his sister, so they can have, like, his sister and one other person," but apparently it's no, you can't. So, New Jersey has some weird laws in regards to probationary periods when you're under the age of 18, so
Okay.
there's been some
Safety.
freedom, yeah, for safety reasons and for kids gallivanting around. They also don't want them out past certain times, due to, safety reasons once again,
Mhm.
or, driving around for no reason, joyriding, um, unless they're, like, coming
Which
back
was the
from work.
very definition of how I spent, I feel like 17, 18. I was
Oh, yeah,
just
100%.
driving around.
Yep, same.
Oh, youth.
Youth. You drove, you hung out with your friends, you did things
Yeah.
that you enjoyed. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
And so we
there was
also went on some pretty cool vacations this summer.
yep. We did a cruise to Alaska, which was just, like, bucket list item awesome. The weather was fantastic. We got very lucky, to the point where some of the tours that we went on, the people were commenting like, "Wow, you got really lucky because this has been the best week of weather that we have had all summer." So we got very, very lucky, to be in, these beautiful places with fantastic weather. We did a helicopter ride to a glacier, which was both frightening and exciting. And we went up to a dog sledding camp where, there's still snow on the ground in July, which is crazy. It is a glacier. And We did like a little dog sledding thing where they take you around the track and you get to meet the dogs and stuff like that. That was awesome. Really cool experience. There's like I can't remember how many dogs are up there. Probably like I think 80 to 100 dogs are up on this mountain. They're all loaned out from dog sledding camps all over the United States from the lower 48, as well as Canada and Alaska. It's like training for those dogs to continue to be prepared as to whether or not they're going to race in the Iditarod, the big race there. So that was really cool to see and be a part of. And the people that actually work there, they stay on the glacier for like 4 to 5 days, and then they come down. They get 2 days off, and then they go back up and they sleep up there. It's really like an insane, adventurous way of life. For these people to do this particular job is really, really interesting. But
How
it is
awful for you.
yeah, right? It is Oh, yeah. That must have been awful for you.
It's
Um,
been awful for you.
yeah,
No,
it's
yes, that sounds so cool.
yeah, it would really it's very hard to describe if you've never been to Alaska, just like how big everything is. Like, you leave these ports and then you sail to the next port, and it's just mountains and trees and water, and that's it. There's no people, there's no structures, there's no lights. It is awe-inspiring to just look at how big everything is, and also how small you are in relation to it. It was really very, very
Such a
humbling.
philosophical, right? I mean,
Yeah, it's just very humbling. But we did some gold panning, we did a train ride up the Skagway, which a lot of people do, which was really, really cool.
Skagway, that's a fun word.
Yeah, these little towns that these little mining towns that you go to. In the summertime, we are the chief export of a lot of these towns,
Wow. Yeah.
because, we're our tourism dollars are very important to
Sure.
the economy of those places. Um, in Juneau, we went to Tracy's Crab Shack, and damn right, I bought a shirt that says "Tracy gave me crabs," which is also my wife's name is Tracy, so, had to buy it. But that was awesome. Alaskan king crab and going to the different restaurants and stuff. We had a really exciting, fun time away. We flew into Seattle and spent a little time in Seattle, which is an amazing city, and it was really cool. And our last, so we went to some ports in Alaska, and our last one was Victoria, British Columbia, which was absolutely beautiful. Really was a little port city. Um, but just reminded me of a lot of cities in the United States. It's very close to Seattle. It's right across the Sound. Um, but it really was an awesome experience and a bucket list trip. It was really cool.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. We, other than, I'm trying to think of how many, like, medical appointments we've had this summer,
Oh, there was that too. Yeah. Uh-huh.
you just fit it in here and there, but yes, we went to Florida as we, annually do, and had such a nice time. I know people it's like this whole, how do you Disney repeatedly? And our question always is, how do you not?
Yes.
But also I'm a big, big, big talk about balance. It's like, why on earth would you ever care what someone else is doing that makes them happy?
Yeah.
So, like, the Disney adult thing or the repeated trip thing makes people so crazy. Like, you have to, and and it's like, I don't. Neither do you. No, nor does
I mean, unless
anybody.
you're physically harming yourself or causing harm to someone else, that would be the only reason that you should care.
Right. I mean,
Like,
let's,
honestly, like,
shout out Robin, shout out Robin Bay. Don't yuck somebody's yum.
yeah.
It is really just like in its most, simplistic form of like, do what brings you joy. And so that's going to be my little uplifting piece for, back to school this year. Don't stop having fun just because the summer is over, or don't stop living your best life just because the summer is over. And so I think a big theme for us this year is going to be, all about your third space, right? And we're going to talk a little bit about that in the future. But the idea of, what is it that fills you with joy, with, what helps you to rejuvenate, wink, wink.
Yeah.
And, and what are all of those things that, really bring you joy. So there is something about, our annual family trip that we take and the familiarity of it. I have loved watching my kids. I mean, we've gone, minus the pandemic years, we've gone every year, since the kids were born, especially Avery and Bryn. They were 1 on their first trip. So now at 13, to see them going off on their own and being able to go into the park. Even I think in Disney they consider you an adult at like 7.5. So, or
Yeah,
you're
something like that.
geriatric. I think it's like you're an adult at 3, adult pricing at 3, and then you're basically a senior citizen by the time you're 9. So no, but they really, that is their rules. I think by the time that you're 12, you can go off and do anything and be in the park by yourself and all those things, which is cool. So, so it was really great to be able to have some time. And also, you're entering a new space after, in the next year or so. And this is something that we've seen just with our oldest, is that, it is that very strange sort of, what do they call it? Like the you raise the person that you love so much to live without you, right?
Yeah.
And so it is this idea that, geez, if you are married, I really hope that you like your spouse, because you're getting to spend a whole lot of time with them again
Yes, that'll
without the
be
kids,
that that's kinda gonna be a theme of ours, this
Yes.
season. As our kids uh, Jamie's oldest and my twins are, now seniors in high school, um, which, we spent some time over the summer going to colleges and visiting some places, going to different schools in the East Coast area. That's where they are. We're not traveling or flying anywhere. They don't want that for themselves. So, the main thing is we want them to be happy with the place that they choose. They're feeling the pressure of like the Common App and filling things out. So, we're going to be talking to some people that are going to talk about that journey and what that's going to look like for the two of us. So, that's going to be a theme of
Yes.
ours.
Wait, just before we get into the college talk, because
Oh,
that's
sure.
gonna come up a lot, I'm just gonna keep going with my summer. So, I also went to South
I ap-
Carolina this
I
summer.
apologize. I
Um
apologize. I jumped the gun there. Go ahead. Sorry.
That's okay. I went to South Carolina this summer. We saw Hilton Head. I went with the kids. We hadn't flown in a really long time, so we, now have gotten sort of like our wings back, and we're really happy about that. And so we spent quite a bit of time in South Carolina, in the Low Country, really close to Savannah, in Georgia too. And so that was really neat, in Charleston, and some really neat, nice places, and met some really wonderful people, as well as like lots of time at the beach, which is, of all the places that I've ever been or I have will ever go, there is nowhere better to me, ever, than Long Beach Island, New Jersey. There isn't any place that's better, and no one will ever convince me of that. So there's just like that very sort of grounding feeling that I get once I'm back, toes in sand in that, place that makes me feel the happiest of all of the places. And so we were able to do that as well. What I didn't get to do really enough of this summer was boating. I definitely missed out on enough jet skiing experiences and boating and things like that. And as many like Joe knows, and many of our listeners know, we are still caring for my mom, who is bedbound, and so it's always, how much time do we have, or we have to get back, or we don't have enough time to go. So that is, and that's a really great reason to not be able to do something, to miss out on something, is to be able to take care of someone. But, so that was really my only like, oh man, but hopefully September will afford us some of that. And
Yeah.
that'll be really great too. And, of course, our local pool in our town, brings more joy than one can even describe. And so, nobody loves the pool more than Jason Wonko. And of course, shout out real quick. I mean, I don't know if they want to personally sponsor me, but my Salue Spa, my backyard hot tub,
Mm.
is always, I mean, the number of nights that we have spent in our inflatable hot tub.
I do love a hot tub. I wish I had one.
I'm telling you, it is I was just saying the other day, especially with my foot injury, it's like there's no way to end the day with a foot injury than to like, really just get a warm bubble going. But the inflatable hot tub is just if you don't have the money to buy a $7,000 hot tub, and I'm talking to you teachers, you can get yourself one off of Amazon. We'll post a picture of that. I'm gonna do a little, really sort of tribute post to the love and joy and comfort and bubbles, that my backyard inflatable hot tub has given
Yeah.
me.
So we've spent, time also, at the house and having friends over and doing some fun things, as well. I mentioned we did some college tours, which was what we spent some time doing, this summer and visiting different schools. But while doing that, we also try to, see parts of our great country and go to some different cities and check out a couple different things. What my daughter, when we visited Towson, I did have Raisin Canes for the first time, which was, delicious. It's like, "Oh, it's just a chicken finger." Well, it's a damn good chicken finger. Don't hate on Raisin Canes if you've never had it. We also, uh oop, you are muted.
Whoops. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. That's okay.
First podcast, Jamie, or your 80th? I changed those of you watching on Spotify or on YouTube, my background is different. I changed locations because we're filming at the, like, crack of dawn, and my entire family is sleeping, and
Busy time at the end of the school year, beginning
right?
of the
Like,
school year. Yep.
I had to, like, shuffle, 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 and it was like, "Oh my goodness, this isn't working for me." So my microphone keeps, the wire keeps falling out, so I'm sorry. Um, so we have some friends at the pool, heart them, and they are like, "Joe, like, when I tell you speak to your soul of triers and recommendations and going and, they're lovely, and they don't have kids, and Jason and I were just, like, circle back to that what we had said before, they don't have children, and so we are like, they're gonna be our inspiration for when, like, it's just you and I again because, like, they do things we think are fun, and I think you would think they were fun too, like, "You know what we should do today? We should drive to New York just so that we can go." We could go get Raising Cane's. Like, those
Yeah.
are the right? I
Yeah, my
mean, like
daughter that's really my daughter's thing. It's like she's wanted to start scrapbooking and doing things in different,
yeah,
she wants to do something in every state, although she's been to certain states, she didn't scrapbook them, so now she wants to, like, go back,
sure.
and do stuff. She gets a postcard, she gets, like, a little memento,
Yeah.
um, so she does that, which she enjoys. So we went to Raising Cane's, we went to Baltimore, when we visited, Towson, um, and just, kinda walked around
Baltimore is
Baltimore.
beautiful. Did you go to the Inner Harbor?
Baltimore, so my comment on Baltimore is it was very run down. We did go to the Inner Harbor. There were a lot of things that were closed. We hadn't been there since we were
I
there
mean, I
once.
haven't been there in 20, 30
We were
years.
there once before the pandemic.
Okay.
My wife had a conference in Washington, D.C. We spent some time down in that area, and we went to Baltimore for a day, went to, Camden Yards, to see the Yankees play. My son is a Yankees fan. What a beautiful, beautiful stadium to see a baseball game. Um And, but post-pandemic, man, a lot of things closed and they just didn't
Oh,
open back up.
no.
So it was kinda sad to see, like, kinda how run down it was, but not only
Quiet.
that, it's kinda sad to see there were a lot of homeless people around,
Mhm.
which was kinda concerning. There were a lot of people, I don't wanna make a comment, I'm not saying all people, but there were many people that obviously looked like they were impaired in some way.
Mm,
So it wasn't what I remember it to be.
right.
It is a beautiful place. It
Yeah.
really is, but
Need some love.
yeah, it definitely does.
Okay.
Yeah, it was definitely that. So, but yeah, things like that. We did some minor traveling. I know it's not a huge thing, but like anyone else, you have the to-do list, right? You have the many things that you need to accomplish around the house that you don't get to during the school year. And I did some, little jobs that needed to be done. And things that needed to be taken care of that just didn't get done, and there's a sense of accomplishment for me with that.
Doesn't that just feel I mean, that is last summer for me here in my house, we had redone everything, right? Like the floors, the walls, the railings, like all the things, right?
Yeah,
So, and then the kitchen, and so it was this like huge thing, and in that redoing everything, we kind of got rid of and cleaned every because everybody's got, like, that junk drawer, some people have, like, junk rooms, and so we redid every space possible and got rid of everything, which is just, like, makes you feel so good,
Yeah.
and so then it was, like, for me, this year, it became, like, next stop, my parents' house.
Yeah. There's some of that, that I
And I
definitely
did
want
it.
to
I did it
accomplish.
this summer. I did every space of my parents' house, every closet, the attic. I mean, every single space, which is really interesting in someone else's house.
Yeah.
And my method, I don't know, this is something that I don't it's not very Marie Kondo. Remember the woman who used to, like, you hold it and say, like, "Does it spark joy?"
Does it
Right?
spark joy? There's another thing, it's like, if you had the thing, if it had poop on it, would you clean it or throw it away?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I can't remember where I heard that, but that was
That's
another
really
one.
good. So my
Um,
method is and I started doing this when the girls are, like, talk about, like, everything is a treasure, like, you don't need the straw from the McDonald's meal from 6 months like, everything is a treasure, so,
I hear you.
take that for what it's worth, but so I started my method. The Jamie method is, whatever space you're in, take every single item that you see and put it on the floor. So clear out, like,
Mhm.
don't try to move it. Put everything on the floor, and then as you start to go through it, like, does this really belong back into this space? And then you can that way organize things like with like.
Yeah.
So it was really interesting, like with my dad's paint supply, things that like aren't
Oh, yeah.
mine or that I'm
Mhm.
not familiar with. And it was like, so there was a lot of like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? What are you doing? What are you doing with that? And it's funny because like all these years of having, your parents, and then you don't realize like, oh, my children saved that Happy Meal container cardboard box because you do that, dad. Like
Yeah.
it's like one of those like genetic, like,
Yeah.
wow. So it was very interesting to like kind of go through that process, but cleaning out, I will like, my goodness. I mean, for anybody who has to do that for their parents, especially if you have to do it like my parents are here, so I can say like, "Keep, go," or "Really? Do you want this?" But having to do that or complete that task once someone is gone must I that
Yeah.
I yeah,
That's what I'm staring in the face right now because 'cause we've tried.
and they won't allow it. Yeah, I mean, Jason's parents won't allow it either,
They've done,
but
like, little things, and everything takes a very long time. It's kinda almost too long.
yeah.
So we had some weather this year, at the beginning of the school year. So,
Oh,
July 3rd, we had a
beginning of the
huge
summer.
beginning of the summer, we had a huge, huge storm roll through where we had, like, those alarms come off on,
Yes.
like, the phone, and we had the Alexa say something, and I was, like, in the living room. I kind of ran outside, and I moved, like, the pool floaties and put a couple things away, and I'm looking at the clouds, and I'm looking at the wind, and I'm like, "We are going in the basement." So, like, I was like, "Everybody in the basement now." Everybody kinda looked at me. I was like, "No, I'm not kidding. Like, what now?"
At the
Um,
basement door.
yeah, and it was classic line, "Shut the door." Um, yeah,
You're
so
not wrong though, because I was
no.
home alone with the
Yeah.
dog, and, I believe the girls were away with my sister,
I texted you too because
yeah,
I think Jason was at the gym. I remember
duh,
talking about
where
that,
else
yeah.
is he?
So,
Yeah,
yeah, we
but I
had it.
got frightened, and I actually have a video which we can put in. I was videoing, the hail because I just couldn't believe it, and then I said, "Oh, this is really stupid. I have to get away from the windows," and I scooped up the dog and went into our playroom, which is windowless, and just stayed there until it was over. Now, luckily, we didn't have any this time, we didn't have any damage, with the way that the storm came in, but unfortunately, you guys are on the other side of town, and you sure did.
Yeah, we had our neighbor had a tree go down in his front yard, and our neighbor next door had a tree go down that went in between my, shed and my fence, blew out some of my fence panels. So I had some repairs to do, which was right before we went away on vacation, and we had some people here watching our dogs. So I really had to like scramble, get everything prepared. Like every red-blooded American on 4th of July, I was using a chainsaw to cut up a tree that was covered in poison ivy. So I wound up getting poison ivy, which was pretty bad. My son broke out just as we went on the boat, which was awful. He was such a trooper.
Terrible.
He was such a trooper with it. He really was miserable, but he like powered through everything. I give him a lot of credit um for
Thank God
for,
for Joey and
for putting
his
up with. Yeah, he
right, I
really
mean,
he really put up with a lot. And then while we were away, we had another huge storm roll through,
ugh, these storms.
which was in New Jersey. We have, I don't wanna get political. There's a lot of overbuilding. There's a lot of, like every other place in the United States, there's just building and building and building and building and cutting down the trees and all sorts of stuff like that, and, it's affecting things like runoff and, like, our major highways were, like, underwater. I'm not saying that that's the primary factor, but that is a huge factor to it. We have a creek that's in our backyard, like a little babbling brook kind of deal, and the culverts that go under the street get jammed up with all sorts of debris. I had 6 feet of water in my backyard and my shed flooded. So that was the impetus, long, long walk to get to uh, me cleaning out my shed and cleaning things up and straightening things up and getting things off the floor. And I had to fix my yard work was fixing the lattice around my shed that was like all, kind of decorative, but everything had gotten broken and cracked and ripped up. So I had to take everything off, put everything back on, which now not that it's a hard job, but hands and knees, a lot of bending over. Um, but just little things like that, that which became a big thing. It took a while for me to fix all that stuff. But at the same time, there is a sense of accomplishment in doing all those little tasks, the little yard work stuff, the little cosmetic things that like, oh, I really want to do that. And then you spend the time doing it and there's a sense of accomplishment behind it.
Yeah,
That you
and
might
I'm gonna always say what I say to people who are have a difficult time starting a task is, you don't stare up at the mountain and think, "I will never be able to get to the top of this mountain. I will never be able to climb, so I'm not even gonna." No, just take one step.
Yep.
Just start climbing
Yep.
because you realize, "Oh, one closet. Oh, one closet's done. Then another closet's done. Then another space," or whatever the task might be. Just, I was talking to a friend recently who's been going through quite a bit, and I said to her, I think that you've been looking at these tasks and you just aren't starting anything because it just seems impossible. So why don't we just make a list of what needs to be done and then just one a week?
Yeah,
Just
and
one a week.
that
That's
goes
it.
back to the executive function part for students as well. That I
Yeah.
often talk about, like, okay, you have a lot to do. Let's make a list. Let's prioritize, and let's start checking things off the list. Ooh, thumbs up. Um, that's the I get my little thumbs up, and the little bubble comes up. Thank you, Max. Um, so yeah, there's some of that that needs to be done in order for certain people to prioritize what are the tasks. So I actually have like a little to-do list pad that I use to keep track of things. I did it by week, and then I check things off and I accomplish those tasks, which helps me, but also puts me in a right frame of mind. I feel good when I accomplish things, even if it's just stuff around the house, all those little jobs that need to be done. And even as you were talking, I'm like, you know what? I really want to go through those 2 closets upstairs that need to be gone through because there's
And they
stuff
never
there that
they never end. I mean, that's the thing is that
yeah,
they never stop, but that little sweet spot of, like, enjoying, like, "Ooh, I really, set out to complete something and I did it." What I will
yeah,
say is, like, I live by my phone to-do list, and, I mean, I used to love, like, a handwritten now it's just, like, on the notes on my phone. Every single day, there is a to-do list, of and something added, and then something taken off, and something added, something taken off, which is fantastic too because that's just the way that it goes. Otherwise, I mean, who can do I can't do the remembering. Woo! The remembering is impossible.
yes, it is.
Oh my gosh, is it
Um,
ever?
Yeah. So some of our so we can might as well talk about what some of our themes are going to be for the year. I kind of alluded to one already and started talking about it in regards to our kids' journey and applications and acceptances into college and being seniors. I was driving with my daughter yesterday, and she's like, "Oh, yeah, I have to fill out that form for the cap and gown. I have to, like, tell them, like, who my homeroom teacher is and send them an email and, like, tell them how tall I am. I have to do that by September 12th." And I'm like, "Cap and gown?" I'm like, "We're
I
talking."
saw that on social, so I follow all the socials because, boys, well, my boy, he doesn't really, there's not a lot of embellishment. So, I follow the
Same.
socials myself, and I was like, "What? Cap and gown?" And he was like, "Oh, yeah, there's just a form that's due." But, well, one fun thing that we both, were involved in was, our kids get to paint parking spaces.
Oh, yeah.
And so one of the themes of my year, is taken from spot, I think it's A3 maybe?
Okay.
It's a few away from, Drew's, and I thought this is I'm gonna get this on a T-shirt. Beautiful sandy colored background, shells, 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 and just a simple quote, "Don't be a beach."
Yeah, I think that works very well. That's awesome. I wanna find out who that is. Um,
I don't know because, we were obviously so focused on like helping and doing and the things. And gosh, I mean, people really, some of it was like, is this going in the, is this going in the Met? Like, what's happening?
yeah.
But they, just, there's artwork in the Met, right? Sorry, guys, it's really early.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I was going to say the Guggenheim just because I liked how that word feels in my mouth, Guggenheim. But yeah, some of them were really like literal pieces of art. I'm like, you're driving your car over this, right? But
Yeah.
cool. But anyway, but yes, don't be a beach. 25, 26 school year.
My favorite one that actually my wife told me about, which I thought was great, was, like, somebody painted their parking spot with, like, the diagonal yellow lines, so it looked like it was a place that you couldn't park at, so that anytime there was a school function, nobody parked in it because they thought it was, like, a special parking spot, and then
I
that
love it.
person could park in that spot. I thought
Oh
that was
my
great.
god. I love
Not
it.
not it wa this was not at our kids' school, but at a different school. It's posted
Yes.
online. Oh, yeah, we saw all the videos. We've been getting a lot of the videos of, like, the kids going away to college, a lot of the
Yes.
videos of, "Here are the things that you need for your college dorm room," and I'm like,
Yes.
"Damn it, we're not there yet."
Not yet.
Um, my daughter wants to save to get a new computer for school or for the next year, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Okay, that makes sense,"
Yeah.
and I'm like, "This is a journey that we're gonna be going on all year."
Of course.
Um, I always worry about the the when the new school year comes, there's always a little bit of worry that I even said to you the other day, I really hope that they have it easy this year, and I pointed to both of our kids.
Mm.
Um, my son wasn't at the beach at the time. He was, fishing with my wife and, his grandfather, and I just hope that they have an easy time for themselves. Like, there's always a lot of drama and nonsense that goes on throughout all of high school years, but there's this magical phenomenon that happens during a senior year where, like, you get to, like, the end of April, beginning of May, and everything kinda goes away. Like,
Yeah.
the drama goes away, the cliques go away, and everyone just gets nostalgic to the whole experience
Yeah.
because you're about to move on from
Well,
something
here's what I'm doing this
that
year,
you've been
okay?
doing for 12 years.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna bring it back, okay? When Drew was a baby, I had to, bring him. Obviously, I had to continue working for financially, and I would drop him off, and I spent his entire first year every Sunday crying, and so it's kind of like where we've gotten this like take back Sunday idea of, like it's a whole full day where you don't need to be upset about the upcoming week, like take it back, and so I that's how I feel about like take back senior year. I don't want to spend this entire year, like, crying, and so it was a kind of that idea of, like, when I had the twins, I said, "No, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna waste every Sunday being upset that I have to go back to work or that I'm not gonna be with them." So, when I'm at work, I'm at work. When I'm at home, and I'm at home and trying to be really, really present in the moment, and so that is what I'm challenging myself for this year. I don't wanna spend this year feeling like a constant state of, like, "Oh, oh, rather than like, wow, like we got to this point and it didn't just happen, right? We worked really hard. We put in so much love, so much time, so much effort. And I want to be present and enjoying these moments, not like crying, sobbing for
Yeah.
them. And I'm not saying like that people who feel that way or that are crying, and I'm sure I'll be crying at many points, but more so of like, damn, like this is fantastic. And really soak in, like, the pride and joy of that rather than feeling like, "It's over." I love the videos of the people who are like, you only get 18 years with their kid, and then they're, like, 40, and they're, like, floating next to their mom in a pool, and it's like,
Yeah.
"No, that's not true," which is how I which is how I feel because 'cause I'm with my parents as an adult constantly, so I don't feel like that, like, "Oh, he's leaving, and oh, blah." I'm trying really hard to embrace the let's try to soak up and be present and take it back. We're taking back senior year,
Yeah, that's great.
right?
I think
We're
there's
gonna
there's
try.
there's some of that. That's my wife is very emotional about it. Because she knows that it's a transition period. Maybe she's upset about it and crying because she knows she's gonna have to spend so much time with me. We don't know.
Oh my goodness, that's
Yes.
funny.
Um,
Well, whatever your year is going to bring, whether you have seniors or you have kindergartners, doesn't matter, or you are somebody who, your kids are grown or maybe, you forgot to have them. Whoops. And that was your choice too, right? We are, gonna be here for you along the way, and we hope that this is the best school year yet. We have lots of guests coming up and so many things that we are so excited about. And Joe, I continue to appreciate you.
yeah, you too, buddy. I appreciate you. And well said. We have a lot of things coming down the pike as for our show that are big for us and also big for our listeners. So we want to make sure that you're sticking with us. Make sure you give us the follows on social media, like, subscribe, tell a friend. And we will see you guys next time on the Balancing Act podcast.
Bye.
Look for the Balancing Act podcast every week on your favorite podcast platform. New episodes drop every Tuesday. Thank you for being a part of our audience. We appreciate you.